Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Roy Kuzin, partnered with Liteforex broker, giving you the weekly market video analytics. And today we're going to have a really interesting session. We're going to focus on the cryptocurrency market, but from a bit of a different angle. So instead of searching for opportunity with the top 10 or top 20 leading coins, which usually trades against the US dollar, this time we're going to look at an inter-exchange currency pair, which is the most popular one, the Litecoin against the Bitcoin. So when we're talking about inter-exchange currency pairs, we're talking about those leading coins that trade against the Bitcoin rather than the US dollar. And that gives you the balance of power between the Bitcoin and other leading coins. In this case, we're gonna analyze the Litecoin. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alright guys, so you're looking at the daily chart. This is the Litecoin versus the Bitcoin, which means the balance of power between the Litecoin and the Bitcoin, right? It's pretty straightforward. If this one goes down, it means that the Bitcoin is outperforming the Litecoin, right? And if it goes up, it means, well, the opposite, right? The Litecoin is outperforming the Bitcoin. Now, this particular pair has been coming down for quite a long period of time. It came from the levels of 0.021 and right now trades at 0.008. So think about it. We're talking about 70% drop in value, which means that the Bitcoin was doing far better than the Litecoin. Now forget about the fact that the market was on the downside. That's a different story. Actually, right now we're starting to get some signs, some serious indications that the market as a whole may be actually bottoming out, and we should be prepared for the next bullish run, right? I mean, prices are really low, and when we get to that window where we may be looking at the very lowest level of the market, that means that we should be prepared to begin establishing bullish positions, right? And my main question is always which coin is going to be the best one to go with, right? Which coin I'm going to put most of my weight in. And for that, we have to analyze the inter-exchange pairs, right? Because maybe it's not the Bitcoin who's going to do the best on the upside. Maybe it's a different coin. The Litecoin Bitcoin is the most popular inter-exchange pair, and I really like to follow it because first I want to know where I should put my eggs, in which basket, whether it's the Litecoin or the Bitcoin, but also it is one of the leading barometers for the market. So usually it's pretty highly correlated with the general sentiment. So when this pair goes down, usually we have negative sentiment in the market. In general, right? And vice versa. But here I want to talk about the particular technical picture, which I find to be really fascinating. Well, I just like I said, market in this case, the Litecoin versus the Bitcoin price came from above, and it was on a downside move for a really long period of time. But here, what happened about 2 months ago, for the very first time, price had started to trade sideways. Right, it entered into this trading range, right? And you can see that this trading range, I was able to pinpoint the sideways movement here with my symmetric setup, and you can see how nicely price reacts to the actual key levels. Right here on the bottom key level 0080, when it was touching base on the way down, and straight to the upper boundary, right? The top key level 0096 here. You can see how price just punched it a little bit and began to turn around. Now, I was following this particular sideways movement because it actually can tell you where price is most likely to break. In this case, since we're looking at price coming from above, and we're probably looking at the very last leg before the breakout. The reason I say this is because usually we have a breakout in either the 5th leg or the 6th leg. Now let me count the legs within this trading range to show you what I'm talking about. So this should have been the first leg in the trading range, followed by the second one, and then 3rd, 4th, 5th, all the way up. And right now I think we're looking at the 6th leg. So if I read these correctly, price should be able to break out of that setup. And I mostly mean that it's going to be able to break below that bottom key level 0080 right here, which did prove itself as a formidable support in the previous downside move, right? Remember this? I mean, it was a spectacular attempt to break below that level, and price did trade it for quite some time during that day, well below that level. But it came back all the way and left that spike and closed just above. So it kind of reconfirmed that this is a strong support, and from that point you can see what happened. Price just completely reversed and went straight. This is what I call a move from coast to coast, from one bottom key level to the opposite top key level. And amazingly enough, it kept itself within the limits, right? So I think we're looking at the 6th leg, which is supposed to break out of the setup, meaning downwards to the same direction it came from. And the very fact that just a few days ago, price touched base on that bottom key level, quickly bounced off, and went straight to the next one, right? To the one just above it, the mid-low key level 0085. But as you can see, it failed to break through, right? Let me close in a little bit so we can see this from a close up. You can see the attempt here to break above, which failed. So right now we're looking at another attempt on the downside here on that bottom key level. I feel this one could be successful. Now here's the implications, right? It means that the Bitcoin is going to continue to outperform the Litecoin. Now the only reservation I should have here is if price fails to break below that level, turns around and begin an upside move. That would completely change the situation. But right now, I'm pretty sure we're going to break outside of that setup on the downside. And for that, I want to assess the potential movement on the downside, right? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview to our educational training session, which we're going to have in 2 days on Thursday. Every Thursday we have an educational training session. So we had part 1 last week. We're going to have part 2 in 2 days, and it's all about finding the best price targets, the best destinations using my top favorite technique, which is the Fibonacci projection analysis. So let me take you to what I do at this particular moment whenever I think the next move is going to break out of a trading range, right? Because a trading range is a consolidation where price basically just trades horizontally, but to a point, right? Because at some point it breaks, and the most important question always is to which direction. So I think I've pretty much figured out a good way to assess the break, the next move, the next breakout with high probability. So I'm gonna show you the way I actually apply a technique to find, well, potential price target. In this case, 2 potential price targets. So whenever a move is about to break out, like in this case, which is the 6th leg, like I've mentioned before, I just go and I look for the previous opposite move. It will always be the 5th leg, right? So I'm measuring the 5th leg from the very bottom to the very top, right? And now I'm going to apply my projection key levels. So I'm going to apply it from the very bottom to the very top. And I'm not going to dive too deep into this because, like I said, we're going to have a full training session on this in 2 days. But let me say this. I've placed my top favorite two key levels, two projection key levels, which is the 1.236 and the 1.618. Those, from my 15 years of trading experience, I found those two levels to be the most reliable. So once price breaks below that bottom key level 0080, and it looks like it's about to do it, any second, any day, it's usually begins the move, right? Begins to break out, set free, basically break out of that horizontal movement and begin trending again. In this case, price is most likely to hit, first to hit the first projection target here, 0.0070, which is the 1.236, and then probably reach the next one, which is the most important one, this 1.618. Right here you can see price tag 0062. So only once price hits these two levels, at least one of them, and begins to turn around, only then I will start to suspect that we may be looking at a full-fledged upside reversal, which would mean that the Litecoin is going to outperform the Bitcoin for the time being, right? But as long as the situation remains like this and we're going to have that downside breakdown, I think the Bitcoin is going to continue to outshine the Litecoin, at least until we hit one of these two levels and witness an upside reversal, a visible upside reversal. So up until then, I'm pretty much bearish right here on the Litecoin Bitcoin, which means the market starts to go up a little bit now, showing some signs of bullishness. So it's probably going to be wiser to hold Bitcoin over the Litecoin, right? Interesting situation, definitely worth our attention. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this session. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, and don't miss out on our educational training session on Thursday. Have a great trading day. Bye-bye.